Hi everyone, Coach Sullivan from MGS Coaching Football here. I want to thank my subscribers and those who haven't yet. I really hope you do. I'm trying to tease you into that. In fact, I just completed my 38th year coaching football where I was a defensive coordinator, but over that time I've been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, a longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. What I'd like to talk to you about in this presentation is out of our 3-4, what I would just call a 3-deep coverage variation introduction. Okay, again, I got to emphasize 3-deep coverage variation introduction. Okay, so because it's an introduction, I'm not going to get into any assignments. I'm not going to get into any specific coverage. I'm just going to give you the generalities as to what makes up our 3-deep coverage variations and why. That I would be happy to share with you. Okay, so over here on the left there, I have what I simply call the key terms. All right. So again, these are 3-deep coverage variations, so it's a zone. So the first thing is right away, number one, surface. We got our normal reads. And for us, the surface is offensive tackle to offensive tackle. Okay? Everybody is reading and reacting to the surface, which is our normal reads. Okay? We're a base match quarters coverage team. So we're not going to change that now when we go to a 3-deep variation. Okay? So this number two, we have what we call rotational 3-deep coverage variations. That's where we have the safety spin. So I'm going to make a point of that. Our safeties spin. Okay? And we have two kinds of rotational 3-deep variation. We have 5 under 3-deep. We have 4 under 3-deep. And since we are a match quarters-based coverage football team, we have a hot side, which is part of our zone blitz coverage. Non-subscribers going to have to hit the button. And we have a match side. So we never spot drop. We don't go from being pattern match team to all of a sudden in a 3-deep coverage variation start spot dropping. No. Okay? We're going to have match side, and we're going to have a hot side. We also have number 3, what we call a non-rotational 3-deep, better known as quarter, half. Okay, which is a 3-deep variation, and there's a potential, if there's no threat to a flat, for, a possible 4th coverage defender who's deep. Okay? So number 4, what would our 3-deep coverage variations do then is we combine our match principles with our hot principles. Our base match quarters with our zone blitz coverages. We combine the two. And that's how we arrive at our 3-deep coverage variations. Okay? So the reason that we do it this way is we're not looking to completely reteach and match, pattern match. Now you spot drop. Now you play hot on. That's way too much. So we just have 2 things, pattern match and hot. Okay, pattern match and hot. And again, non-subscribers, you're going to have to push that button. So that's it for me actually coming out and saying it. Non-subscribers, from this point forward, things that don't make much sense. Well, if you push the button, subscribe button, which is free, you have access to everything like the subscribers do. So, all right, it's up to you. Number 5, and this is a point of emphasis that needs to be really understood. This is a non-blitzing coverage design, too, okay? This isn't a blitz coverage. This is a non-blitzing coverage. And what it's designed to do is as follows, okay? 1, we can add to the perimeter. So in individual presentations, why we call certain 3-deep coverage variations, maybe we're getting hurt in the bubble. Maybe we're getting hurt in wide receiver tunnel screens. It's a good way to stop it, okay? B, we can add to the box. Again, without blitzing, without playing hot everywhere, we can be in our zone concept, so everybody's reading surface so they can react to the run as well as the pass. When we spin our safeties we have the ability to add to the box. Okay? C, we also have the ability to double cover the number one outside receiver. Right? Again, doing it post-up, not showing anything. Our alignments are disguised, which I'll go over when I get to the diagram portion of this presentation. But we're going to line up the same as we do always. So the quarterback comes out. It's what we got. Take it out of the press box. The coach can't say, oh, here it is. Alert him too. This is coming, right? We're not going to do any of that. We're not tipping our hand till that football is snapped. And also letter D, we can double cover the number 2 slot or tight end receiver. Right? So most offenses have go-to dudes situationally, or it's just they have their dude. This gives us the ability, playing a zone coverage, to double cover that person, whether he's the number 1 outside or he's the number 2 slot, right? Pretty cool. And then we also have the ability, letter E, when we're in our 4 under 3 deep, we can have an outside linebacker rush versus the pass only. So read surface, it's run, you play the run, whatever the assignment is. Perhaps it's orbit, perhaps it's not. Right? But either way, you're fitting in on the run. However, the surface shows pass, and you're the designated guy, you add to the rush. It's a 4-man rush. The disguise being the offense not going to know that because we're not tipping our hand, and they won't know it until the ball snapped and our guy reads the surface for pass, and now he's adding to the rush. Okay? And then the last, and this is very important, it's why I emphasize at the beginning, I'm not getting into a whole bunch of different things, right? You have to see individual presentations for that. But number 6, the technique, especially the third defenders. That will be taught to you in individual presentations, not here tonight, not in the introduction. Okay? So what I want to go over here, again, I'm not going through any particulars. This is illustrated our base 3-4 look in versus 11 gun Dallas pistol, but it's good versus everything. 10, 12, 20, 21, 22. We've used it versus everything. Okay? We can run this out of our base and rotate tag. This happens to be base, but we can also run any of our 3 deep coverage variations out of the rotate tag. Again, our alignment is our disguise, okay? Key, huge factor. Again, this goes back to this is non-blitzing coverage. But we can execute our rifle package, run line stunts with these 3 guys. We can execute our sniper package with these guys. And sometimes it involves the inside linebacker. If it's a run, he's playing the run. Surface normal reads. It can involve our pistol and payload packages, 2-man, 3-man pass rush games. Right? So you can combine all of those different packages with these 3 deep coverage variations because they're non-blitzing coverages. Okay, so this is really, really cool and versatile. So what I do have up here is I have 1/3 underneath each of the corners. And all of our, well, in 4, I should say, of our 3 deep coverage variations, the corners are deep third, both corners. Okay? So 4 out of the 5, both corners are deep third defenders. Okay, again, technique will be taught in individual presentations. Here in the middle, see, it's the 2 high safeties. Okay? And this would be out of base. 2 high safeties. They spin post-snap. Huge. Okay? Quarterback comes out, he sees 2 high structure. That's what he always sees, right? And then after the snap, the safety spin. That's important. We have a screw down safety, so that means depending on which coverage, 3 deep coverage variation we're executing, he's either going to be hot on number 1 or hot on number 2. Okay? Remember, we can double 1 outside or we can double 2 in the slot. And then the other safeties rotate in middle third. Okay? So Bada bing, right? It's a 3-deep coverage variation. Now, in addition to all of that, okay, we have 2, yes, 5 under 3 deeps, but they're in essence, they're the 1 coverage. We just spin the safeties to one defender. You have to see the individual here to the opposite here. But it's the exact same coverage. So we're only teaching one thing. Same thing over here in the 4 under 3 deep, green and lime. It's the same coverage, but we're spinning to one defender, and then it's the same defender but on the other side. But it's 1 coverage. So the beautiful thing here is we're essentially teaching 2 3-deep coverage variations. And then quarter, half, it's 3-deep coverage variation, but it's very similar to our base match quarters coverage. So that's really not a lot of teaching there for us. Okay. So we have what would seem to be a lot, but it ends up being a lot for the offense, not us. Okay. We're essentially teaching 2 coverages, and they're very similar as well. It's just a matter of who the safeties are spinning to. Okay? So this is how we handle our 3-deep coverage variations and why. Again, we have the ability to double cover him or double cover him. We have the ability to double cover him or double cover him. Huge. Okay? If we know for sure that one side of a formation is not going to ever have 2 verticals, gives us the ability to go to quarter, half. That's where we as coaches come in. We've got to study hard, film study, personnel groupings, the different pass concepts that they run out of those groupings. So where are they attacking on the field? And that's where you can see which of these 3-deep coverage, variations would be best for any particular game. Okay? So as I said at the beginning, to my subscribers, I thank you, and I hope I've teased non-subscribers just enough to push that button. But to everybody, I hope if any questions, you'll reach out to me at coachmjsullivan@gmail.com. Starting to happen more, and when it does, I know I'm learning football. I'm pretty confident people on the other side of the screen are learning football as well, and so I'd like to take the opportunity to thank YouTube for this platform so we can all help each other out learning the game of football.